Hey there guys, it's ocarinaplaya with special guest NRG Pony.
Yo, this is Energy Pony
with another 101 for you. Today we will be discussing Christmas Shopping 101. Now, we've all experienced that mad rush of overzealous shoppers during the holiday season, whether we're shopping or not. Our goal is to impart some of our wisdom that should help you and those around you from pissing each other off. Let's start off at the beginning of the journey, the drive. Now, this in my opinion is the most stressful part of the holiday shopping experience. Main reason is there are too many drivers out there who are so focused on their texts and tweets instead of the road and other drivers that they either go too slow or end up causing an accident. So when driving down a fairly busy street, you should always be aware of your surroundings. Another important thing to know when you're on larger, busier streets is that you should go the speed limit or faster. If you aren't sure where to go, get in the right-hand lane and stay there until you find the store you're looking for. This leaves the left lane open for drivers who are moving much faster than you. I can't tell you how much it pisses me off if someone's in the left lane and they're moving at a crawl. It's just infuriating. Once you've braved the streets and have found your store, you should be mindful of where the entrances and exits are and avoid blocking them when at a stop sign or a red light. There's been one instance last year in my hometown where a shopping center was so congested by people blocking the exits that police had to come and direct traffic.
After you've made it into the parking lot, be mindful of pedestrians. Pedestrians should always try to stay out of the way of cars unless they're on a crosswalk. A lot of times pedestrians will get the right of way, but when it comes down to human versus car, the car will always win in the flatten you down like a pancake department. When parking, you should try to park your car as centered as possible so that you leave plenty of room for other cars to park beside you. Most people tend to get pissy when your car is taking up 3 spaces near the front. If you have a hulking truck, you should try to park near the back. If you're an elderly person in a hulking truck, you should really reconsider your choice of vehicle. I mean, come on.
Once you've made it past the parking lot, it's time to enter the store of your choice. Do not block the doorway. I don't care if your long-lost friend from elementary school just waved and started talking your ear off. Get the hell out of the way. Now that you're inside, there's one thing that must be clarified. In a lot of these superstores, the employees cannot turn off the Christmas music, so stop bugging them about it.
When picking out your items, you should be very careful. If you're buying things for your sweetie and things have been a bit rocky, don't get something expensive, just something to let them know that you still think of them. You should avoid shopping out of town whenever possible, simply due to the fact that you don't know the lay of the land. One thing I must stress particularly to the elderly is never carry large sums of cash. Credit and debit cards are just as functional with lesser probability of being out several $100s when you're mugged. It's usually in your best interest to know the approximate areas the items you want are in the store. If you can't find a certain item you need, don't give vague descriptions to whichever poor employee you get to help you. Know your product. If the product you wanted is no longer in stock, do not demand it from those who run the store. Just pre-order for the next shipment. Go to another store that would carry it or order it online. Duh. Employees don't want to hear you complaining that they don't have something in stock that they advertised. First come, first served rule applies to everyone. It's worth mentioning that it's best to do most of your shopping online if you don't like the mobs that frequent superstores. What is this, the 90s? It's also worth mentioning that a lot of this could have been done before Halloween. Just saying.
Once you've gathered all the things you need, it's time to go to the checkout. Another thing I must stress particularly to the elderly is that you should never pay with a check at the speedy checkouts. Cash is best, cards are better, checks will leave holes in the back of your head from all the hard stares you'll be getting from the people behind you. If you're talking on your cell phone, be sure to hang up before it's your turn to be rung out. It's rude otherwise. This applies to cashiers that work at stores with more lax cell phone policies. It's rude when customers are doing it, it's even more so when you're doing it. One thing I've always believed is that every business reserves the right to deny you service for any reason whatsoever. The workers there are not your slaves. They weren't put there to do your every bidding. They have every right to tell you to leave if you're being rude, over-demanding, have strong body odor, have an ex working there, etc., etc. It's not good for business, but they have that right.
Now that you have your things, it's either time to head to another store for more things or head home. I suggest driving through the streets that aren't as big and populated. It may be a longer drive, but there's a good chance there are fewer drivers there. I know I like being almost alone after wrestling through a crowd all day.
This has been another installment of the 101 series. Thank you for listening, and as always, be careful out there. Don't take us seriously. Take the stick out of your ass.